Hey everybody, it's Andy. Welcome to Happy Hour and a Half, the only place I recommend you have any kind of happy hour at 11 a.m. Central in the U.S. on a Thursday. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's my normal Thursday live office hours slot, but today is anything but normal because we've been trucking right along every day this week, dedicating the entire week to community appreciation because I love you guys. So 4 days in a row of live shows. We've already been together for over 4 hours. We're going to spend another, 90 minutes today. And I got a little something tomorrow for you through the email. Just great to have you. Great to have you. I don't know that we need to go through a whole lot of drills here. I think you got it down. Get in the chat. Put some question marks in. If you're not sure what to do, follow the crowd. It's easy enough. One thing I do want to show you, and then I want to start with a carryover from yesterday, is I actually asked you guys, for those of you who were here with me yesterday, if you preferred the longer format posts or the shorter format posts, the videos that is, and did you want longer videos with more content effectively, or do you like the shorter videos that are a little more bite-sized? And overwhelmingly, and I think I even mentioned this yesterday, I thought the crowd that we had would definitely say they wanted the long form, because you guys come to these live shows, you're here with me an hour, 2 hours sometimes, and some of the teachings can get longer, but I love having you, and I think you love the stuff. But I want to show you something. I did this. I'm actually going to refresh a little browser here that I have on my site. I want to show this to you because I did a little poll a few hours ago in the community tab, which I'm trying to spend a little more time with. And this is the community tab. Oh, that's just a quote that I popped up. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, please do. If you're not connected to me on LinkedIn, connect with me. But this is the poll that I ran, it was sometime probably after my morning run. And I just asked folks if they preferred videos in the 3 to 7 minute range or the 15 to 30 minute. And this is what I got, which was a little bit more of what I was expecting. I figured it would be divided. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do because I got to be honest with you. I'm always going to be honest with you. You know that. I don't love the 3-minute videos. I think I could pack a lot of power into them, but 3-minute videos aren't going to get you where you want to go. I think you need to understand the tools, you need to understand the tactics, you need to understand the techniques, and you need to understand the philosophies. And the reason the philosophies and the behind-the-scenes stuff is so important is because you need that to make the alterations that you need to make when going through your particular situation. So a lot of the advice that I give when we do a recorded video or I do a lesson or whatever it is great for the masses. And then I try to tailor them for executives or whatever if I'm doing that. But I think it's important that you have the background so that you know why we're doing what we're doing, so that if the situation calls for it, you can make the adjustments. So I like to make sure everybody's happy. So I'll continue with the long stuff. We'll do the lessons on Thursday at the live office hours. I'll continue to cut them out like I do. Sometimes they're 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on what the topic is and how deep we go in. Then I usually give that sliver to you at a later date. Sometimes I record videos just me and the camera. Oh, I hate that, but I do it. But here's something else that's coming. I haven't mentioned this yet. And we're going to try this on a trial basis, but I kind of like the idea, is every Tuesday morning, for those of you that are on my email list, and if you're not on my email list, please get on the email list so you can get all the goodness and all the gifts I've been given this week and all that good stuff. But every Tuesday morning at 6:30 my time, Central Time in the U.S., I send you my weekly digest, which has, kind of current events for the week, what's going on, the new, a video, a post, an email, copy for the post that I'm circulating for that day, the recorded video that's being released at 6:30, what's going on with live office hours, do we have any promotions, whatever it might be. And so what I think I'm going to try to do, and maybe we'll start this Tuesday, is I want to have a Careers in Coffee time that you and I do right after the video comes out. So for example, this Tuesday coming up, we've got it's a very short video on how to answer the interview question when you lack experience or when you don't have the experience. I tell you exactly how to answer the question. The video's short, but I think there's a lot more I'd like to share about it. So maybe we could do that in a live format. I'm not saying I'm gonna look really pretty. There might be guys mowing my lawn because that's when they do it, and the dogs might be running around the house, but I think maybe that'd be a fun way to get together, maybe a little extra time each week, and we can talk about a little bit more about the video. So I'm going to try it. I hope you like it. I don't know what the time exactly is going to be. I got to coordinate with my partner, and I got to figure out what's the smart thing to do, but it'll be in the morning, my time morning. So anyway, I wanted to let you know that. I think that's all great and good. I'm going to get rid of that, and let's roll with the questions. Eugene, thanks for coming back. Hey, Andy, Eugene here. I got turned down due to my lack of experience in the new field I'm entering. Okay, I've gained more skills and hands-on experience since. Should I reapply to the same company again, or should I move on to a different company and apply? Yes and yes. Eugene, anybody else? Anytime your situation changes, which it has because you've improved those particular skills, experiences, or whatever. And here's what's great. I would go back. It may sound counterintuitive, but I would go back to the same recruiter or the same hiring official or whoever turned you down due to that lack of experience, and I would make that the primary message in my cover or my email to them. I really enjoy, what I really would have hoped has happened for anybody who is in Eugene's situation. So let's really kind of take this, let's do the whole thing. You go through an interview process, you get turned down. And when you get rejected like this, assuming that they liked you and you liked them, but you got turned down because maybe they picked somebody who had more experience, maybe you're in Eugene's situation where you didn't have that experience and you just weren't quite there yet. So then what I would say is, in that situation, you want to go out with some class, and you want to send the message that I always refer you to whenever you get rejected out of an interview process, which is how to get the job after being rejected. It's a video that's out there. It works. And you go out with some class. You send that script. As part of, I'm not going to go through all that, what that script is. You can go check the video out. But as part of that script, Eugene, in your case, what I would have loved if we had a time machine and we could go back to it is I would love to stay, and I would, is there any other opportunity? If there's any other opportunity in, or position in your company that you feel I'd be suitable with, I'd welcome the opportunity to return. In the meantime, I am going to go out and get me some experience in that area. I appreciated your feedback. I recognize I need to grow those skills. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to revisit you when I get them. Okay, that's the heads up. Then you go back, say, okay, I got them now. I'm back. That continuity, I love that. So I would try that. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about with the rejection message, it's a combination thank you cover letter that you send to put a bow on an interviewing process that just died out, kind of like Eugene's situation. Everything was good. They didn't say to you, hey, we don't like your attitude, we don't like your personality, you don't fit culturally, you never will. That's a little bit different. That's a little bit more of a door really being shut or a bridge kind of being burned on their end. But for you, if you feel like, I really liked it, it just didn't fit at the time, or maybe I wasn't quite there, it's a great way to go. So Eugene, thanks for that. I do want to, before I get to Adam, there is one other thing that I really want to let you guys know of, and I think this is a phenomenal thing for all of you to know, especially because you're going to get jobs. And so I want to revisit something from yesterday. On yesterday's show, there was a gent named Hugo, super guy. He's in my job search boot camp. He asked a question, and he was wondering about succession planning. And I saw it in the chat. I answered it, but I think I misinterpreted what he was actually asking. And what Hugo was ultimately asking was, I have a new job now, thanks to the job search boot camp. I moved my family and I'm in a new city and state. I've got a new job and I need to put my work history into the internal corporate database that's used for succession planning. And what information is the right information to put into that system. So there's a couple things I want all of you to know. If you have a corporation or your employer has an internal database that keeps track of all of your work history as well as your internal projects, there's a couple things I want you to put in. It's really important that you do this. So there's information from your resume that you want to put in, and you want to match up your resume and start there and get your bullets in your resume and put that into the internal database and talk about where you worked and the markets and the industries and the roles you held and the accomplishments that you had. That part is already in your resume because we want your resume to serve as a marketing vehicle. Remember, the purpose of a resume is to get somebody to want to speak with you and get you a job interview. It's to highlight your accomplishments. And what's the easiest formula that I tell you to remember about what should go in the resume? What happened as a result of me doing what I did? So not the activity so much, but the benefit, the accomplishments, and so on. That should be in the resume. What is also in the resume but doesn't shine as much is all the different activities and everything else that you did that's important from an inventory standpoint for your new employer to see. So you want to make sure you're adding all of that. So you might want to augment some of your resume sections where you're putting it in as company XYZ, where I recently was and I had all these accomplishments, but here's all the activities that I did as well. And that's okay to list because you want those in the database, whether it's free-form text or whether you're checking boxes. Then what I want you to do is I want you to get my Career Achievements Journal. You can access the Career Achievements Journal. You can either Google Career Achievements Journal in LaCivita, it'll come up, or you can check out a video called Get Promoted with this Resume Building Tool. And this is where we're going with this, right? I want you to get promoted. That's what succession planning is all about. So what's inside the Career Achievement Journal are the 14 most important elements to capture about every project that you do. So as you start your new job, or you could start it today, it doesn't matter if you're midstream, it makes no difference. Get the Career Achievements Journal and start documenting all these important elements. I'm not going to go into the 14 items because they're in the journal, but it's, what was the business problem? What was the project setup? Who were the stakeholders, right? What were the benefits? What did you do? What were the things that you learned? All these elements, you want to capture that. It's like a diary for every project, and then take that information and put it into your succession planning database so that your employer can actually see not only the activities that you're currently doing and have done historically, but also everything that was related to it, because the people at your employer, they're going to come and go too, right? There's going to be some turnover. You might have a new boss. You might have somebody who doesn't know you. Now you can look at that. They'll have all the right context to truly understand not only what you did, but the impact that had, the level of importance those projects were. So I hope that helps you. It's really important that you get that information in. So all your stuff from your resume, then augment it with making sure you've got all your activities listed. You want to put some soft skills in. All that good stuff's great. And then the second thing is make sure you get the Career Achievements Journal. And we'll put the links here somewhere. But make sure you get the Career Achievements Journal and you document like a diary what that stuff is, and make sure that goes in to that internal corporate database so that they can see not only what you did, but ultimately what happened as a result of what you did and how impactful those projects were. So I think that'll really help you. For all of you that are looking to make sure that you get promoted, it's really great to have that stuff. Okay, hope that helped. And I wanted to clear that up because I think that's just absolute gold for you guys. All right, Adam Stark. Great to have you back, buddy. Aside from the 5-lesson series, do you have any advice for further self-discovery, especially for discovering jobs that would be suitable to my needs, talents, and so on? Thanks for all your help. Okay, so what Adam is referring to is a 3-part video series that I talk about kind of the first 5 steps to career success, and basically going through certain steps to make sure that you're organized in your approach. You kind of get on the faster track so that you can find the things that you really love. And there's a video series on the front page of the Mile Walk Academy. Now, since I developed that a number of years ago, and if you go and watch it, I'm probably not even going to look like I look today. Certainly, I think I might have even shaved back then, and I've had a beard for a long time. So that's available to you. There's a lot of self-discovery exercises. The other thing that you can do is I have a job search masterclass. The biggest part of the job search masterclass, the initial piece, it's a 3-part series. We focus on a lot of the self-discovery stuff. The other thing, Adam, I keep referring you back to, which I'm absolutely certain you've seen by now, but for anybody who hasn't, there's a video that I have out there called How to Choose the Right Job for You. A lot of that stuff helps you understand what drives your happiness, the things that you need, the environment you want to create, and I know you've been through all of that. Now, when you need to start connecting the dots between what you want and what's available or what you can create, there's entirely too many ways to triangulate that for me to kind of knock it down to a formula. So there's observation, there's looking at different professions, investigating what those activities are based on your happiness criteria. If you don't like working with numbers, you can safely eliminate all the actuarial, accounting, financial planning, and all that stuff is what I mean. So you want to make sure that you do some connecting of the dots. I recommend that you talk to people. I also recommend uscience.com. I don't get anything for that. I've gotten some very positive feedback from people who've used it. People I've mentioned it in these live shows and in these Q&As. And you can take I believe you can take your needs and the things that are of interest to you. It takes into account your level of work experience, the areas that you have worked, and the degrees that you've attained, and all of those good things too. And it gives you a number of ideas. We had some of the boot campers take it. Most of them said it was like dead on of things that they thought made sense. I think we had one boot camper who was kind of lukewarm on it, but that's another option. In all fairness to everybody, I coach people one-on-one in stuff like this because when I look at what it is that they want to do, I can tell them where to go. Short of getting into boot camp, paying for the one-on-one sessions, I don't have a lot of packaged stuff that I could easily say, oh, you should do that. There are so many things that go into all the little nuances about, there's making sure your inventory is correct in the first place. It's making sure you're down to the lowest level. It's understanding what the different roles actually do and what you're going to be called upon. And there's so much back and forth that it's really hard to package that up. So I know that probably left you a little short of where you wanted to go, but try that stuff, and I would talk to people. And a big part for a lot of people, I always say this to younger kids that want to go to med school, law school, anything where they're going to have to invest a lot of time. I would say this to anybody who goes through a 4-year degree, who wants to get into a certain profession. You cannot imagine what that profession is going to be like unless you talk to somebody who is currently in it. And so what I would also do is I would try to either find people I know or get referred to people that they know, the people that you know, to somebody they know, to try to gather some intel about what it is they do day in and day out, what they love, why they love it, what they don't, why they don't love it. And you got to do some investigation and some research. It's important. When I went from information technology and management consultant, and I was very senior, I had a lot of experience across the board in running a services company. I knew how to sell, market, manage people, hire, interview, all that good stuff. I knew how to write. I knew how to make persuasive arguments. I could do a lot of stuff. And I wanted to help people, and then I went through my process. I decided I wanted to be a recruiter. Then I went and talked to recruiters, and I went and talked to the type of recruiters that I wanted to be, not a corporate recruiter. I didn't want to be a corporate recruiter. I wanted to be an executive search firm owner. So I went out and I actually spoke to those people. So there's some of that you're going to have to do. You're going to have some a preliminary list, investigate, and also do some research. So I hope that helps. All right. Okay. Unrepentant Drew, thank you for connecting with me, my friend, on LinkedIn. If you all are not connected with me on LinkedIn, at least get connected with me on LinkedIn. So, I mean, I'm connected. I don't know. I think it probably, I don't know how much, like 12,000 connections. Happy to help you, with my network if you want. And I always love seeing your smiling faces in my feed. So please connect. I'm happy to do it. All you need to say is, hey, Andy, I'm in your community. Been at the live show, or love the live shows or the videos or whatever. Happy to do it. At Natalie Taylor, thanks for that channel recommendation. I'm guessing I'm going to get to that. Kathleen Phillips, can't attend today because I have a second interview at 9 a.m. Good luck to you. I'm going to use all those skills you taught me to wow them. Love it. Love you. And I will be. Stay tuned. And I don't know if you're going to come back to this, but I would love an email, please. Thank you. All right. Kara's got one that came in from the outside. Marie, what does it mean if a company, in this case a reputable and big company, has a particular role advertised on an ongoing basis? A job that interests me has been advertised for several months, and I'm not sure if I should try to apply for it since it seems to have been vacant for so long. Marie, that is not true, that it has been vacant for so long. So here's a great one. Marie, thank you for this. So Marie's question is, I want the job. The company's posted it. It's been up there for a long time. Should I even bother applying? Fact of the matter is, sometimes organizations, doesn't matter if they're large, doesn't matter if they're small, there are particular positions in companies that they always want to recruit for. So salespeople, engineers, project managers, these are positions you almost can never have enough good ones. If it's a large company, Marie and everybody else, they probably have a number of them. If they have a number of them, some of them can go. So if I've got 10 sales reps, I'm probably thinking I could at least get rid of 3 right now and upgrade with the Maries of the world. So somebody who would be an upgrade. So I'm always open to fielding resumes. I might not actively be recruiting, like exerting a lot of outward recruitment time. So the recruitment department may not be calling around, if they even do that. But if the posting is up, that means they are welcoming inquiries. Now, I would not apply through the portal, but I would say that the great thing about a position being up almost perpetually is that means that they welcome any inquiries. And that position is probably one either they're having a tough time filling, or they're constantly trying to fill it, or they're always on the lookout. Any of that is great for you. What I would do is I would find somebody I could send my resume to and just say, hey, I noticed you had a position. And you don't need to say anything about that. I noticed it was open for a long time. Go into all the cover lettering stuff that I gave you, the emailing stuff that I've given you, send your resume according to the format I gave you, and go in. And you likely, in those situations, have a higher percentage of getting a response. Actually do, because they're probably always welcoming those inquiries, and they might not be getting as many inquiries as they would hope. So that's what I would do. And companies do this often. It's a common practice, and there's no reason that they should not. When Mile Walk, my executive search firm, so most of you know that I still do recruiting for companies, and I spend time with you and training and coaching individuals. And over time, I was full-time as an executive search firm owner, and I spent a small amount of my time doing this, And now over time, over the last few years, this one is getting bigger and I'm spending more time with you all and I'm spending less time recruiting. But when I was full on recruiting, we always wanted to talk to any recruiter that wanted to do third-party search firm recruiting. I would have interviewed anybody. I'd have interviewed a person a day, every day, till I found the right people. And even if I had a full staff, I would have talked to anybody else who wanted to talk to me that I thought was qualified. So believe me, companies they welcome it. They really do. If it's up there, send it in. But I don't love the applicant tracking systems. Just make sure you're sending it direct if you can. But if not, then go through the ATS with all the other tricks that I've given you. All right, hope that helps. Alina, great to see you. Good morning from SoCal. Alina, man, did I miss you when I came out there? Maybe you didn't know that. So this is an interesting question. Alina's asking, you say summertime is a slow time for hiring. When does it pick up? Is networking now even more important because the competition will get worse when the season picks up? Okay, great question. Now, in the summertime, and depending on who the company is, depending on the amount of turnover, depending on the boss's schedule and their vacations and all that stuff, hiring tends to slow. This is a generalization. It tends to slow in the summer. That does not always mean every company is slow to hire. My brother works for a company, and my brother right now, he's probably pulling his hair out of his head because his fiscal year is going to close in 6 days. So he's probably working around the clock trying to get all his deals closed and all that good stuff. And then they'll hire a bunch of people come to, the next month or whatever. Or maybe it just closed. But you get what I'm saying. So not every company is on an annual a fiscal calendar year. And so a lot of times there's a huge hiring surge December, January, February because new projects, new inspirations, new budgets, and so on. But companies throughout the year are experiencing turnover. They have to replace people. Sometimes projects are starting later. Sometimes new projects are starting now. As a matter of fact, today, we're trying to wrap up a hire for a company that we're doing a search for. Literally, we got the verbal OKs last night. We're trying to get the paperwork wrapped up today. And we've got another client, and he's banging on our door, and we're trying to get him people. So it's not that I feel like, Alina, you are on your own clock. Okay? You are on your own clock. So in the summer right now, I would be doing everything I could. I would not, I'm not giving you any different tactics to take at this moment other than everything I've taught you when you're in the boot camp or here. Now, I will say that toward the end of the year, like in the late fall, well into toward the end of the year in November and December, and then in January and in February, I do offer different tactics that I would employ because of the way that the world is working through the holidays, the picking up of trying to hire people, the wanting to get the people in the seats early in January. There are adjustments that I give you, and as a matter of fact, Alina, you actually have that module and the depth of all those changes in the boot camp. That's not something I will visit with the public community until that time comes. But for right now, I wouldn't be worried about when does it pick up. I would just be focused on doing what you can control. You should be, I know you're a recent boot camper. I would highly recommend the 14-day challenge for you. And that, I think, will pick up your traction. So I hope that helps. Kirsty B., my beloved boot camper, thank you for all your awesome efforts this week. You are welcome. You work so hard for all of us, and it is so appreciated. Hope you are enjoying the week. You know what? I have news for you guys. Wait, because you know what? You're so awesome. And hopefully I'm going to see you again tomorrow. I love doing it. If this is up to me, like if I could afford to do that, I'd be on with you like this every day. But I have to work on things and build courses so you can buy something so I can, so I can feed the puppies. But yeah, it's great stuff. You are so welcome. And thank you, Alina. Wait, that's so, I love these. Okay, Metal Monkey Videos is back. Oh my. Metal Monkey Videos. 1, should my LinkedIn profile be more brief to the point than my resume? I think it should be more brief than your resume. However, I think you should make sure that you have all the keywords in there that you need to. Because you got to remember, LinkedIn there is a search engine aspect to it. So you need that stuff. You want people to find you. My profile is customized for a specific job type. That's no problem. Should I bother to ref it on my resume if I'm applying for a different one? Well, I don't know how different the jobs are. So, if you've got heavy duty business, project management experience, and you are applying for a senior business analyst position, it's probably not a big deal, or vice versa, depending on how much PM experience you have. So no, I don't. I would not sweat that. The LinkedIn. So how do I say this? So there's different aspects of the LinkedIn profile. There's I want to be found, right? So when somebody comes across my profile, they're going to think something. So you got to look at that. Then there's I want to send my resume with the assumption that if I get eyeballs on my resume, that person, I've got an 80% chance of that person then going to LinkedIn to look at my profile. If that's the case, I would not be overly I would not be overly concerned. I would try to make them look similar, or that you have, a good amount of overlap. It's okay that you have other stuff on your LinkedIn profile. What I don't want you to do is confuse the viewer by, you've got 3 different jobs going on at the same time, and I can't tell what you do, where you do it, what your full-time job is, what your part-time job is, and all that good stuff. And most people who are hiring for a corporation do not want to see that. Does not make you attractive. It really does not. Not that Metal Monkey that you got that going on, but I'm just saying, I think that came up the other day, a few days back, where somebody, has multiple streams or multiple work streams. Okay. All right. Half-hour break. Let me make a couple of announcements. So if you're not on the email list, I just sent an email. I know it's kind of a lot of emails, but I gave you one every day. I gave you the gift. I wanted to make sure you knew where the show was and all that good stuff. If you are not on my email list, I would please suggest getting on if you want all the gifts, because tomorrow you're going to get the wrap-up email. It's going to have everything in it. It'll go out in the morning. Okay? And then the other thing related to that is the specials that we have going on. We got some questions after the fact yesterday. My job search boot camp is going on. You can get it 24/7, 365. It's all packaged and recorded for you. You have access to the whole thing. There's a ton of bonuses. It's $100 off right now. We have these 4 times a year. We have these kind of boot camp blitzes where I'm live with the boot campers every week for 5 weeks in a row on Fridays. So we're in the middle of that. We still have 3 more of those sessions, tomorrow, the next week, and the next week. And then what happens is, on a month where I don't have any of those, that blitz scheduled, I spend time with the boot campers live privately. There's another session. And then usually what happens is, by the time the next month rolls around, we do another blitz, like 5 weeks in a row. So some people ask, well, hey, if I jump in, do I have to adhere to the schedule? You don't have to come to the live sessions. They're just an opportunity if you want to ask questions, because I can usually get through all of the boot campers ones, and we can have a little more dialogue than I usually have it at live office hours, and it's a lot easier to clarify stuff. But it's all recorded for you, and you could jump in whenever you want. The $100 off ends tomorrow night. So that's a good thing to know. Second thing is, the interview intervention course, which is normally $300, is now $97. That's good for till tomorrow night. And my leadership monthly live program, I have you can get in for $49. That you can still get in for $49 a month. But I have a promotion now where it is $297 for the whole year. So that's like $24.50. So it's like half off for the year. It's really great stuff. Kara could drop those links in the mail, or in the chat. And the only other thing I want to mention is we have a goal set. I have a goal. This book. Oh, wait, two things on this book. So I wrote this book in 2014. I gave it to all of you on Monday, the ebook and the audiobook. Actually, an hour ago, the initial load of 500 more actual physical copies made it from the originator to my distributor, who sends you the books when you guys take the free books, like for that guy, for the Interview Intervention book. We're going to be doing it with this book. But I have a goal-setting masterclass that's going to teach this book in detail. That's August 20th, 21st, and 22nd. That's free if you want to show up and take the notes. I'm going to package it up and sell it for $197. It'll also, I might do a bundle deal, but it's a great thing. But for right now, all you need to know is those are the dates, and you can come for free. And if you're ever wondering, when am I live, check the Mile Walk Academy calendar. There's a live events calendar on the page, on the Mile Walk Academy page up at the top, and you can sync it. You don't have to, I don't like using the word subscribe. You sync it to your calendar. So whether you got Outlook, iCal, Gmail, you can just hit a button, we give you what you need, and you can sync it. And so then it drops right into your calendar. I do that with, so that I know where I'm supposed to be on whatever day, because I use an Apple calendar. So that's pretty cool stuff. Coffee and Careers Tuesday. Live office hours next week is on Wednesday, not Thursday. Okay, enough of that. Let's get back to the questions. I don't know if this is a Dave West. Okay, folks, remember to put some question marks in front. I think this is a question. Hey, Andy, internal recruiter emailed me to say my application won't be progressed. I believe I have most of the requirements, so how should I respond? Should I ask about similar roles? Yes. So, I don't love that they didn't give you anything. However, I appreciate their pain as well. The fact that you got an email of any kind from an actual person is something. And here's what I would say. I'm really interested in your company. I really liked that role. Is there any feedback you can give me so I might be able to either gain the experience that I don't have or whatever? In the meantime, are there any other roles in your organization that you'd think I would be suitable for? Because don't assume. Some people laugh at me, and I get a ton of emails about this, very positively, I should say. When I say in my cover letters, I'd welcome the opportunity to discuss this role or any other role in your organization you think I would be suitable for. And people say, well, geez, then are you not doing your homework? Well, first off, you don't know anything about the roles inside of another company. And that piece of paper called the job description doesn't tell you squat. Not really. So there could be a lot, and not to mention, you don't know the moving pieces. You don't know if somebody that morning jumped out the window and said, I'm out of here. You don't know any of that stuff. So you always want to reach back and say, don't assume the recruiter actually has enough energy to look at your resume and say, oh, Dave doesn't match that. Boom. Send Dave an email. He's out. I mean, they're like thoughtless many times. So you have to remind them to check other things. It sounds silly, right? So it's the same thing. What's the analogy I use? The thumbs up button. Oh, I'm going to say it first time, 39 minutes in. I'm guessing if you're here with me still, you probably like the coaching. But you don't always press the thumbs up button because you just don't think about it. That's okay. You're busy. But if you got a minute right now and you like this, click it. And I bet a bunch of you are going to click it right now. And just because I said it, that's it. Doesn't mean you didn't want to. Recruiters are like this. When you got 300 applications coming in, you got 100 for that position, you got 50 for that position, you got 25 for that position. It's hard. It's hard. So you gotta stay on them. Let's see. Oh yeah, and yes, you're right. My real name is Andrew. And yeah, I've downloaded a lot. Okay. You don't have to create a new YouTube account. You just change your name on your YouTube. Kirsty B, my boss hunting mails are starting to really pay off. First interview last week, the one role The one with no role. Wait, hang on. My boss hunting mails are starting to really pay off. One interview last week, the one with no role profile, ghastly, and another next week with a shiny new company. Keep at it, everyone, if results are slow. This is true. I always love to see this. Alina's got something, 1 of 2. I'm strategizing on doing a career pivot, and you touched on something very profound that resonated with me. Oh my goodness, well, I wonder what this is. You want the employer to take a chance on you, but the ROI isn't there. I just want to get my foot in front of that person. Can you elaborate on how to get my foot in the door? Yes, Alina, you need to be spending 60% of your job searching time networking. That is, believe me, that is the very best way. So when you are a career changer, you cannot compete with people who have the experience. And you got to be willing to get walked in somehow or referred in where somebody says, that Alina's great. While she doesn't have exactly what we need, she's really great. I used to work with her in such and such a company. I know she's sharp. I know she's organized. I know she can pick it up, and so on. You need that. So you got to work a little harder to find somebody who can do that for you, or email it in, or at least has a relationship with somebody, or is at least trusted by somebody who's hiring for that position. So that's to me. And Alina, I go into that. I mean, you have access to the boot camp where I go into that, and you have an entire module on career changing and all the 12 steps and the sequence I would go through in doing that. I would check that out. That's another thing for those of you that are maybe teetering on the fence on the boot camp. Not only do you get the 5 base modules, but there are specialty sections. There's one for career changers. It's got the 4 different stages. It's got the 12 different steps, how they align, what you should do. There's a section in there for executives that covers the major stuff that executives and over 50-year-olds need to do in their search. So whether you are very senior in comp or position, or you are more senior in age. So that's in there. There's a whole bunch of other stuff too, but it's in there. Hey, Evelyn, how are you? I sent you an email this morning. Oh, this is 11:43. It just seems like a long time ago, but I think it was this morning. So, is being laid off due to an acquisition the same as being fired? Some see it the same. I definitely do not see it the same. So here's my view on if you were let go, Evelyn, because of a layoff, and anybody else who was let go because of a layoff, this is how I would explain it to them. My company was acquired. The acquiring company decided to eliminate a number of the positions within my organization. It made complete sense to me. I understand it, financially and from a business perspective. It was very smart. We had a lot of redundant processes. They knew their methodology. They knew their culture. They kept the people in that area. So I was part of the unit or number of people or whatever that was let go. When you are let go as a group is the easiest thing to explain. When you are surgically shot, that's fired. That is very different. So in sentiment, I don't care what anybody calls it. The fact of the matter was you got let go because your company got acquired, and the acquiring company made some decisions that affected you and your group and your unit or a number of you or whatever it was. That's the explanation. I would not go into anything more. And they want to know details. You'd say, well, this is the unit I was working in, and they had a unit, or they decided. Do you know how many times we work with people, we coach them because, they're working down the street, and then that whole unit just got moved to a different country. Moved to a different country because they just put an arm somewhere else, or got outsourced by another firm that could be down the block, but just a different company that this company is paying the outsourcing firm. This stuff happens a lot. So it's not a stretch for people to comprehend. And I don't see it as the same. Metal Monkey Videos, will I be disqualified if I answer negotiable on a salary expectation question for an online application? You will not be. And oftentimes, and you say, I know the job pays $60K and the range is 50 to 85, fine. I think if it is an open field, meaning it's a free-form text or not required, and you put open or negotiable, every recruiter in the world knows what that means. Okay, so no, that's no problem. And if it's a drop-down and it's a required field, I recommend doing one of two things. Either put something around what you're earning. Don't go way high, don't go way low. Just put about what you're earning. Or if there's an option to put $1 or whatever, anything like that, that's okay too. You're going to hash this stuff out at the end. You are not going to be disqualified. And Metal Monkey videos, if you have not watched my salary negotiation playlist, highly recommend, because there's a lot of content in there about what's actually happening behind the scenes. When a recruiter says to you, Metal Monkey videos, what are you looking for in the way of expected salary? Metal Monkey videos, you work in a state where I can ask you what you currently earn. Metal Monkey videos, what's going to take for you to leave? And everything that's actually going on behind the scenes, how you should approach that when you're interacting, even though you filled something like open, negotiable, or $50,000 on the app. So check that out. All right. Sorry, slip a hand. I have no idea why it does that. Whoop. Sorry, folks. I just slide my fingers down the trackpad and all of a sudden the thing hops. There we go. Boot campers would change. Okay, I love it. All right, Alina. 1 of 2. I realized I sent the wrong boss hunting letter to someone I should have sent a 7-sentence cover letter. Person's not direct hiring. They responded by complimenting my resume and asked if I wanted either of 2 positions. I responded either to whichever, which seems my resume and qualities are most relevant. No response from last Friday. Okay, so first thing for everybody, and Alina, my dear, when you send a message, the most important goal is to get a response, which you did. 100% victory. It's okay if you sent the wrong one. What's done is done. The person got back to you, complimented you on your resume. Now, it's Thursday. You sent it last Friday. You responded, and then this person has not gotten back to you. I would wait until Monday. I normally like 7 days, but in this, I'm going to cut that person some slack because they did respond. So what I would do is on Monday, maybe not Monday morning, but like maybe later on the day on Monday, if you haven't heard from the person, send a follow-up. Just reply again. That's all I would do. Hey, wanted to check in on this. Would love to get your feedback, and so on. All right. Hey, Bengal baby. How you doing, Jen? Jason Garrity. Hey, I think you might have sent me an email today, and you are welcome. And then I finally made it in at 10:56. MK, you now get to put your leadership medallion on your hellos. Give me a pound leader. Welcome to the program. I think that was you. All right, Bengal baby. Andy, my roommate just had a one-way video interview yesterday, all personality questions. Is this normal and expected with these videos, or do they ever ask real questions for that matter? Jen, Bengal baby Jen, the one-way videos are here to stay. I hate them, okay? Not because I hate doing them. I think I would do fine on them. I don't like them because they're impersonal in nature, and companies think this is a good thing because they get to talk to less people up front and they get to see you, except they don't get the fact that they're being grossly impersonal and not giving you, your friend, or whoever, your roommate, an opportunity to actually get any insight. So they're asking you to spend your time and not get any information. Each system is a little different. I have clipped a video for you about this, about how to do these effectively. There's a video that's already out there called Interview Tips for Job Seekers. Check that out for anybody who has an actual video interview, meaning you're talking to somebody, or you're doing one of these HireVue, Spark Hire, Rivs, VidCruiter, what a name. Any of those, it works. And then I've got a short video that's coming out in a few weeks on this topic as well. To answer your question, those questions can be programmed any which way they want. My wife had one of these a couple of weeks ago, and they were asking her content questions. So not like describe, what would your husband say about you? None of that crap. So or tell me about yourself. There was none of that, because the answers they're typically small. They want your answers quickly. And my view on these things is, to be honest with you, and this is terrible, what I'm going to say, but this is what I think companies do. They look at you, they can discriminate without officially discriminating. If you don't present well, right? Communication skills. So all of you, I would look good on the camera as best you can, and my interview tips for job seekers, that's a good one. That will help you look great. So no, there's nothing typical. We've gotten feedback from all different kind of people in the boot camp about, I took this, it asked me these kind of things. I took that. I had 1 minute to answer. I had 3 minutes to answer. I had whatever. It's all over the place. You can program those things however you want. Dan C., how are you? Yes, Dan, you might be the newest boot camper. So great to have you, my friend. Put your little boot camper medallion on there. All right, you got a 4-parter for me. New to the boot camp in Minneapolis, love it. I'm looking. You get with Kat. Kat, if she's on the thing, she's up in Minneapolis, somewhere up there. I'm looking for a role that would include responsibility for hiring. I frequently get contacted by recruiting firms offering to assist in my search. I'm wondering if you mean. Wait, hang on. Okay, that's confusing. Because you get recruiting firm owners calling you because they want you as a hiring official, they want to hire for you, or you as the job seeker, they want to bring you to market, meaning I have an opportunity and I'm going to call Dan because his background looks like it fits. I'm not sure which one you mean yet. Typically, there is an expectation that once I find work, I will reciprocate. You just answered. Sorry, I probably should just shut up and read the thing. All right, wait, let's go back. I'm looking for a role that would include responsibility for hiring. I frequently get contacted by recruiting firm owners offering to assist my search. Typically, there is an expectation that once I find work, I will reciprocate by using the recruiters to fill openings on my team. I have 2 questions about this. Should I limit the number of recruiters? No. I'm willing to speak with so as not to overextend my obligations to them? No. Resounding no final answer there. What is the extent of my obligation to any recruiters I work with during my search? None. Final answer there. Okay, Dan and everybody else, you don't owe anybody anything. Not me, not them, nothing, nobody. The odds of any of those recruiters actually placing you is small. However, if they're contacting you, certainly the chance is greater if they are contacting you because they have something that actually fits. Now, what a lot of recruiters will do that absolutely suck at marketing themselves is they will call people like you and try to build relationships in the hope that you will go somewhere or you have the opportunity to actually use them and that you were not going to be leaving your position, or that when you go somewhere they now have a friend. These are people who basically don't know how to pitch their services. So they backdoor it. It's lazy. It's the way it is. So, but for you, because all I care about is you, if I would ask them, do you actually have a position in mind? You don't have to tell me what that position is right this second. I'm happy to share my, Dan background with you, my work history, the things I'm interested in. But what I want to know is, are you calling me because you actually have something immediate? So when Kara and I recruit, we do not call anybody without the intent of ultimately pitching them something. Now, we don't always pitch it, because if I called you and I said, hey, Dan, it's Andy from Mile Walk. I'm wondering, if you're open to connecting with me. I have some opportunities, or an opportunity that might be a great fit or whatever, but I'm really interested in opening up a relationship with you. Right? I'm a window into the employment market. So if I get you on the phone, I will tell you right away, hey, look, I have an opportunity, but I want to talk about you first, because I want to get to know you. I want to know what you're interested in, and what the recruiter should be doing is listening to every single thing that you say and all the requirements that you have, so that if, in fact, I make an assessment based on your resume, based on your needs, that, hey, Dan fits what I got here on my desk, then the story I'm going to go relay back to you is I am going to tell you about the opportunity as you have coached me to tell it to you, meaning I'm going to highlight all the things that you said were important. Okay? So no two people are actually going to hear about the same opportunity, my one opportunity, the same way, because you've coached me to share it with you differently, because you have certain things that are important. If the recruiters are calling saying, no, I'm just calling you to fill up my database, and maybe you look like a guy who hires, then I would say, all right, look, let's just be really brief. I'll send you my resume. If you got anything that you think matches me or my interests, then circle back to me. Then go on to the next one. Your time would be better spent doing the things I'm going to teach you in the boot camp, bringing yourself to market. Now, I have no problem. Every recruiter that calls you, you should call them back. But when you call them back, you need to vet them. And you need to be really careful. And I would not be spending a lot of time with anybody that doesn't have an opportunity for you at the moment. Okay? And it doesn't matter if you work with somebody who places you and you don't love that person. I don't really care if you love them or not. If they got you a great job, go for it. And you are not under any obligation to hire them wherever you go. Not to mention, you might go somewhere where they don't use search firms, or they have other relationships, or you have internal recruitment team that controls all of that. Now, you just joined the boot camp. You haven't got the email from me that says, please share your story with me. Look for the subject line, reply to that email, I read it, and you're going to tell me about you and everything you do and all that good stuff. And I'm going to get to know you, and then I'll be able to better coach you. So that's what I would say there. For everybody's benefit, you do not owe them anything. It'd be great if you love them and you want to pull them in, but you're not obligated. Not to mention, you might not be able to. Do you have any idea how many people would love to hire us that just they can't because they got to have some preferred vendor list? You got to be a national firm. You got to whatever. It happens. So, and we'll talk. I hope you're going to be there tomorrow. We'll talk more. Minnesota Melvin, look at that. Carrie Freeman. Carrie, get in the boot camp. You were one of those questions. Come with me. Join us. You know you want to. All right, Brooke, how are you? Brooke's one of our favorite she's got some medallions right there. Bangle baby, how are you? Anna Goldman from the UK. How are you, dear? All right, hello, dear Andy. Hello, dear Anna. It's Anna from London here. When it comes to transparent job offer negotiations, saying that I am also negotiating with companies A and B, I hope you are, dear, shall I share those names? Sure, why not? Listen, folks, Anna, everybody, it does not do you any good, regardless of what you think, to not share that stuff. If anything, it might help you. And, I just got done mentioning a few minutes ago, I was negotiating last night. We had a candidate go through final round. I'm on with the chief ops officer from the company. She and I are going back and forth. I said, listen, my candidate just got, how about this one? My candidate got a job offer from this company, and she owes them the answer by now, today, right now. Like, we knew all this. We knew all this stuff was going on. My client knew it all. And we're going back and forth. Do you know what the offer was from the other company? It doesn't even matter. You know what? I didn't even ask what the offer was because I don't care. She wants to make it work with you. That's irrelevant. And so we're going back and forth. But you tell the firms, tell them who you're interviewing with, tell them the job you're interviewing for, tell them where you are in the process. If you want to share, hey, Like, I don't like sharing the numbers like that. They're going to offer me $100,000. But what I might do is tuck that. Oop, that disappeared. What I might do, this is probably the only thing I would ever do with sharing this level of detail. If it got down to the end and you wanted that extra 10 bones, right? Like they're offering you 90, this one offered you 100, you really want this job, then I would say, look, you match that offer, I'm yours, my word, right? Like I might throw that in if I needed to, like if it got down there. But it doesn't hurt you to say this. Do you know why it doesn't hurt you to say it? Because you get back what you give off. I'm telling you everything. I want you to be transparent with me. Where am I in the process? Where are the candidates? Where are they coming from? How am I doing against them? When are you going to have the offer? When am I going to, like, all of that stuff is a quid pro quo. If you're shifty, then they want to be shifty. And so I would never promote that. So Anna, I hope that helps you. Give it a go and ask away. And I would start sharing one final thought here, and then we'll move on. For all of you, when you get in an interview process, from the moment you get in, you have an opportunity to establish a reputation of what you're going to be like as a candidate. Okay? If you are communicating with the employer and you are sharing, hey, this is my first interview with you. I'm super excited because everything I've researched, I'm like, just all squealing like a, schoolgirl because I'm excited. But I also want to let you know I'm interviewing with these 2 other companies. I promise you that I will keep you apprised as those progress. Here's the companies, here's the role. Here's where I am. Second interview, phone screen with the HR person. Second interview with the hiring officer, whatever it is, wherever you are. So I just want to share that with you. And I will keep you informed. And in turn, I want you to tell me how many candidates you got, where are you getting them from, so on and so forth. And then as you go through, as you continue to communicate, then when you get down to the end and they give you the offer, because you're going to use all my tactics to get it, then when you're negotiating, that is a way easier time when you're going back and forth, and they will love you for your honesty throughout. And if you're effusive with what you got going, how you feel, and all that good stuff, it works to your advantage. People think hiding stuff works to their favor. It never works to your favor. Never. 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 It just doesn't. Okay. Hope that helped. Oh, wait. Oscar Andres Montes de Oca de la Garza with the longest name in my live office hours chat, community appreciation chat, any workshop I've ever done, any live event I've ever done. You hold the record. I love it. Good morning from rainy Mexico City, everybody. It feels like Groundhog Day. Yes, it does. So I could tell Oscar actually read the email today. Thank you for that, my friend, and hope you grabbed the gifts. Because I said, hey, it's like Groundhog Day. Jason, how are you? Anna, you're welcome. MK, get the badge up there. Getting ready to review goals with my boss tomorrow. Love it. I will have to adjust after goals your sessions next month. Any general advice? No, I don't. You know what? Actually, MK, you know what my advice is to you? Check the Career Accelerator program. You have that, and I would look at so there's folks, when you get the boot camp, there is the Career Accelerator program. The Career Accelerator program, so this is something good for you guys to know, has the one module on the 12 steps the first 90 days. The second thing is about how to get ready and everything you need to do in your first year to get promoted. So MK, go watch module 2 of the Career Accelerator program, because that tees up those 12 things that you need to do. And part of that is setting up front the success metrics, the goals, and all that good stuff. Make sure you've watched that before you go into the session. And then there's other things like excellence planning, all my organizational tactics, and then all your annual promotion and all that other stuff as you're getting ready for that, because you're going to get promoted because you're going to do the right stuff. So I hope that helps. No, not really any, just make sure that the goals. So there's the goal setting session, MK, the one we're doing in August, is about life. The goals you're talking about at work are going to be different. They're going to be very specific. You're going to have key performance targets. You're going to have other things. We'll touch on that, but no, I think they're a little different. They're a little different. All right, Steve. Hey, Hayden, how are you? Wayne's email. Hello, Andy. You talked briefly at one point this week. I hadn't talked briefly at all week on how to ask questions in an interview in a way the employer won't view them negatively. I did do that because Adam Stark asked me that. Can you go into that a bit more with an example? You know what, Wayne? I think the example that I went into with, actually, Wayne, let's use your example here because I see you got some more. Like a question in asking the culture of the workplace and flexibility around the work environment. First two are usually vanilla responses. And the third seems to put them on edge. Read info in your 75 questions. Okay, so folks, in the hiring prophecies, Psychology Behind Recruiting Successful Employees, which is my hiring book, I talk at length about culture. And so culture, the workplace, and flexibility could be part of the culture, or it could be a separate thing. We don't need to split hairs. We still want to get it. So Wayne and everybody else, when you want to ask a question positively related to culture, the way I would ask, okay, so all of you, how would I inquire about culture? This is how I would ask the employer about culture. Culture is incredibly important to me. I want to make sure that I fit into the organization. Culture is a huge success factor for whether I'll be a successful employee, whether I'll fit in. That's not a question. That's a statement. It's important to you. So I'd love for you to describe the culture, and the easiest way for me to understand that would be if you use specific adjectives that you would use to describe the culture. So, if you're going to use adjectives like entrepreneurial or meritocracy or whatever, I'd also like to understand your interpretation of those adjectives. So how would you describe the culture? And now you want a list, because the culture is about the adjectives. It's not like our culture is great. That tells you nothing. We have an open culture. That tells you nothing. We have a welcoming culture. That tells you nothing. There's no data there. So you need to say, how would you describe the culture? Great. Entrepreneurial. Wonderful. What's your definition of entrepreneurial? So my interpretation could be different than yours. Could you give me an example? Or something like that. That's your line, and you do not want to let them go until you get everything you need. And if they're on that line and you feel like, I want to go into the flexibility and all that other stuff, then I would start putting that out as separate questions. Would you describe the environment? So when I look at flexibility, I think that there is a watchful type of culture and there is an adult type of culture, right? So there is a performance-based and there is a presence-based. Like you need to be at your seat from 9 to 5, and if you break out for a 2-minute lunch, you're like crucified or whatever. These are things that you got to look for. And all you can say is, there are certain cultures that I really thrive in. I'd love to understand what your culture is like. And the best way for me to understand that is if you use adjectives and you help me understand, what those adjectives are. So how would you describe it? And then let them give you a list. And then you go back and forth. This is a multi-part question. And it should be where everybody is spending a lot of time. That's part of, if you are in the boot camp, which Wayne, I don't know if you are in the boot camp, but in the boot camp, there is a spreadsheet that I give everybody. It's got 86 rows in it, and 20 of them are related to culture. And it breaks down the different aspects and how you should evaluate them. So it's a great question. But just talk about, it's important to me. I know I thrive in certain environments. Do not let them kick it back to you. So if I say, well, I thrive in certain environments, you cannot answer my question with, well, what are those? And I'll tell you, no, I asked you what the culture was. I want you to describe the culture. You don't get to, right? I mean, you don't do that. You ask the question, you want their answer. And you don't want them to fish. You want them to come at you without knowing specifically. that makes sense. All right, hope that helped. Hey, Christy, Melanie, that's some Danny, some boot camp. All those boot campers right there. Love it. Yep. Danny, you got a couple medallions. Sam, how are you? Even after accepting job offer, I get countless inquiries for all job positions that see my LinkedIn, Indeed, clearance, jobs resume. Is it okay to leave them there? No, I would take them off. Delete them. Okay. Final answer. And Sam, get in the leadership program, man. I sent you that link. Okay. Wayne's email, although some interviews feel employers. Let me see. Cena. Hi, Andy. A new boot camper here from San Francisco. Yay! Cena D. Was introduced to a company through referral for a staff level position. Okay. The recruiter suggested that a senior level position, one level below staff. Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me see if I can get all this. Hang on. Okay, wait. Cena, new boot camper. Love it. I was introduced to a company through a referral for a staff level position. The recruiter suggested a senior level position, one level below staff. Okay. I'm open to senior level. But I believe I'm qualified for the staff level and prefer to have a higher risk, higher reward shot at the staff level. Love it. How should I communicate this to the recruiter? Cena, if you're in the recruitment phase, they have not determined whether you are a staff or senior. And if I understand you correctly, and by the way, Cena and everybody else, when you get into the interviewing process, don't get too hung up on title or comp. That will fall out and can change drastically as you get through the interview process. I would be very to answer your question simply, yes, you can negotiate that. It would be much easier to negotiate that at the end of the process when you've completely impressed the heck out of them. So yes, you can do that. And yes, you should be doing it at the end, not the beginning. So if you're interacting with the recruiter and you haven't really gotten into the process, it doesn't really matter. When you go and you interview, it doesn't matter if the recruiter says, hey, I'm interviewing Cena for a staff position or a senior position. They're going to interview you, and then they're going to determine at the end what your level should be based on how awesome you are in the interviewing process. That's what you need to focus on. So if I understood that correctly, that's where my focus would be. So I hope that helps. And if it's not, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow as well at the boot camp. All right, let me see if I got that. Hey, Amy. Joe Winter, how you doing? Hey, Hugo, did you catch that? So I actually, for everybody's sake, I called Hugo after the show yesterday. Well, I was on my way to my meeting. I like to be in touch with people. Super great guy. All right, Marcus, how are you? New graduate, can't get interviews due to lack of experience. How do we get past the experience requirement of these companies? Help us youngsters, Andy. And you know what, Marcus? I am glad you asked this, and I am really glad I just read it because I was looking at the chat yesterday. Kara sends me the chat. Just in case I don't know how this goes. She sends me the chat after every session, and then I look at it. I was like, I don't see everything during the show, and it depends when we click off because we're going to click off in like 16 minutes. So I don't get to everybody's, and not everybody rolls it into the comment section. But here we are the next day, and I was hoping that I got this question. So when you have a lack of experience, there's a couple of things that you need to recognize. Number one, so couple things. There's different ways. This is not just for the younger generation. What I'm about to say, what I'm about to tell you goes for recent college graduates, younger professionals, career changers at any age, or anything like that, okay? People that are moving, it makes no difference. What the most important thing for you to recognize is there's different ways for you to look at the way you job search. And Marcus, I'm not saying that you look at it this way. I'm just trying to give you a white paper, perfectly blank answer, meaning this is how I want you to approach your job search. You can think about it as though I have a lack of experience. and how do we get past the experience requirements? So you could focus on the problem you think you're trying to solve, or you can look at this more positively and say, there are organizations out there who are dying to hire new graduates. How do I focus on finding them? So when you are in the ultimate sales job right now, all of you that are looking for a new job, you could focus on trying to convince somebody who's not yet sold that they should take a chance on a new college graduate, or you could spend your time looking for someone who is already sold. The issue a lot of you fight is the should versus which problem. Okay? So let me be specific. If I want to become a career coach and there are no other career coaches out there, I have to figure out a way to convince you that you need a career coach, even free. Okay? So could you even run a business? But there's a whole bunch of career coaches. All of you are already sold on that. Now, it's not a matter of should I have a career coach? It's which coach should I have? That's what I compete against. It's not like, should I be a career coach? How can I make success of that? So you are a new college graduate. You could fight with companies who are thinking, should we hire a college graduate? Or you could go look for those organizations that say, no, I want college graduates, fresh and eager, good attitude, good schooling or whatever, the right degree that can walk in and I can train them. You need to be looking for those companies because you are never going to overcome the lack of experience if you are competing against somebody or a company who has the opportunity to hire somebody who's been working professionally for even a year. So, Marcus, I hope I'm opening your eyes as well as everybody else's. You should not be fighting should. Should they do this? Should I hire this? It's which one. You go at the companies who are already sold on the fact that they want to hire recent college graduates. That will be advertised. That will be easy to find. That's what you need to be looking for. Not, well, give me a shot. No, that's a harder fight to fight. Does that make sense? Should, which. That's what you want to, that's how you want to separate it. Okay? So, now the other thing we can get into, how do you gain the experience? Volunteer, work for free, do all that stuff, get a part-time job in your field. I want you to do all that. But that's how you need to change the way you approach. I would only be looking at companies right now that are advertising recent college grads, or if they're not advertising, when you submit, I'm a recent college graduate. I'm looking for an entry-level position. My background is. Right? That's cool, right? You could still go into companies where you don't know because you don't know if they're open to hiring college graduates. Then there's those who are only posting, I want 5 years of experience, I want 10 years or whatever it is. Think that way. Don't try to sell. You know what? I think my boot camp is awesome. I'm pretty dang sure that everybody in the boot camp, like 99% of them, think it's awesome. And I could try to convince every one of you to buy it. But what I want to focus on is delivering you great value, and I want to share information about my boot camp. Some of you won't jump in. That's totally okay. Some of you would love to jump in, just don't have the money. That's totally okay. Some of you are on the fence, and you think, hey, look, I just need a better understanding. That's great. I want to help you understand it. That's why I share some of these things along the way, right? So I'm not trying to sell my boot camp to people who don't believe in training or career coaches or whatever. I'm trying to sell my boot camp, for example, to people who are willing, want the structure, want the coaching, want the camaraderie, want the online and ongoing support and all that. I just need them to pick me versus picking somebody else. But they're already there. They're looking. That's how you got to think. I hope that really resonated with you. You know what? Marcus, I would rewatch that if I were you. It's at the, say, 12:15, 12:20 mark. I hope that helps. Enola, how you doing? Tuway I think that's the way you say it. I don't know if that is the way you say it. I think it is. Hey, Andrew, I mentioned before I got fired for making inappropriate comments. We went through this already. Can I lie about my references? No. My manager won't take me as a reference. Don't give them that. reference. I would not. Don't lie, please. Find other references. Gary, how are you? Long form is amazing, and the content, the bootcamp. Thank you, my friend. Good morning to you, too. Danny, long ones. Alexandra, how are you? Hey, Andy, what do you think about this recent graduate profile resume? Product design graduate with a fine art background, passionate about inclusive design, proficient user of... Okay, so I don't love opinion words and self observation words like passionate. So if that's an interest of yours, that's great. I would not put it in there if you don't have inclusive design experience. If you do have inclusive design experience, then you talk about your inclusive design experience. But I think that there's probably more you can put in there. And if you want, Alexandra, if you download my collegiate resume template, I actually wrote you and everybody else, college students, I wrote you your profile. All you need to do is take the words out and put your words in. I mean, literally, like take the school out, put your school in. Take that, like it's the greatest thing in the world. So check that out if you have not seen it yet. Melanie, this morning's phone screen went well, and I have a face-to-face with the managing partner of the consulting firm on Tuesday for a position on contract at a Fortune. That's awesome. Good luck. Bailey Walters, how are you? You like the longer ones too. Joe, you're welcome. Kirsty B, always love having you. Let me see, continue. I've consulted, here's a question. I've consulted to 13 plus over the last 15 years, and with clients who I've worked with before, got to review interviews in Oh, yes, I'm stoked for you. I'm stoked for you. That'll be awesome. Follow-up question about being fired. I really like what I can put on my resume with the company. What happens when the company asks why my stay was so short? I would try to be as brief as possible. I know you were fired. I don't know why you were fired, or if I did know that. Oh, that was the inappropriate comments. That's right. I remember this now. You got let go for inappropriate comments. I would just say, oh man, that's a toughie. I'm trying to. So if I'm the interviewer and I'm thinking about anything that would pacify me, that's actually what a lot of times what I do with you guys when I give advice. I try to give you advice from my vantage point as an interviewer or a hirer, what would work for me. So if you said you would have to own up to what you did, I probably would just say, you know what, I was let go for cause. I did something that was against the corporate policy. I learned from it. The corporation was absolutely correct. I learned from it. It's just not something that's going to happen again, and I want to move on and get a fresh start. I probably would just talk about, I would try to own it. And I'm hoping whatever those, we have become very sensitive as a society in everything that we field. And the reason I'm saying this is I don't know what your inappropriate remarks were. And in my view, people could say things that I just wouldn't get all bent out of shape about, but somebody raises a stink, they want you gone, HR department doesn't have a leg to stand on, they're worried about lawsuits and all that kind of good stuff. But I probably would assess you based on if you owned it and you said, look, I learned from it, it's not going to happen again. It's never happened before. If your resume has good runs on it, like 555, whatever, and then a shorty, I give you a pass. I give you a pass. That's how I would go about it. If I had more time to think about this, I probably could give you a better answer, but I would focus on that. Own it. You learn from it. I want to move forward. And I'm hoping that your resume, aside from that, looks good. Looks good. All right, Evelyn O, 2A, Steve. Jim Freeling, only got a few minutes to say. Buddy, I've been doing this every day this week. I haven't had a chance to get back to you on text, and I'm live 3 days next week too. So I'll catch up with you. So great. Jenny Hinkle. Marta, I received my interview intervention book today in Portugal. Love it. Joe Winter, I just had a great phone screen. Your video training worked well. I have a follow-up with the HM next week. Love it. Carrie, you are right. Yeah, extra. Okay, that's right. Carrie. Denise, hey, you're welcome. Love having you in the program. Let's see, XY, better known as Ty. Just trying to, I don't want to miss anybody. Jenny Hinkle's got a question. Found a cool job posting on LinkedIn, and my former coworker is a recruiter for the company. Awesome. Thinking about sending him a note, but should I also send him my resume? Yes! Jenny, go! Do it! Hey, I found an awesome, posting, and as I looked at the company, I noticed you were there. Yay! I wanted to connect with you. Since you're recruiting for it, I figured I'd attach my resume. Would love to catch up. Now, I don't know if this former coworker is like somebody like you're simpatico with, like, hey, I'd love to grab a cup of coffee or lunch, or if not, if you think I'm a good fit for the role, would love to talk to you about it. If you don't think I'm a good fit for the role, I'd love to just talk with you about what's going on and see how you're doing, and if you know of anything else. I mean, you could be. There's nothing wrong with being friendly. You have to gauge the warmth of that. You have to gauge the warmth of your relationship. So, I'm all for, look, I can write you scripts all day long, but you gotta do that. Ann Eliza. Oh, hey, John. Ann Eliza, please repeat the best time to let a prospective employer know that you have a 2-week trip planned. Thank you. So, Ann and everybody else, vacations happen. Life happens. It was planned in advance. You just let them know as soon as possible as you get to the offer. You don't need to be messing about with that stuff during the interview process. Go through the interview process. Get them to love you. And then when you get the offer, just say, wait, I'm receptive. I love it. I'm excited. I want to go through all the benefits and calendar and start date with you and all that great stuff. I also have some time off that was already booked, months ago, whatever it was. I want to just sync our calendars on all that good stuff. And that's all I would do. I would just kind of introduce it. And I wouldn't say anything until that offer was coming. Okay, I really wouldn't. All right, hope that helps. Let's see. Van, how you doing? Melanie, let me get you in here. In prep for my in-person interview, I want to call one of the consulting company's clients who is an org where contact is and whom I've consulted to twice. But she's managing actual contract negotiations, so I don't know how forthcoming she'll be. I have another client I can call who is more in the trenches but don't know her as well. Melanie, if it's important that you want to get some intel, I would call whoever you can get a hold of. I probably would call both of them, to be honest with you. And just see whatever. And you don't have to be pushy. And you don't even remind me as somebody that's pushy. So call them both. Why not? I'm more of an and guy than an or guy. Have you guys gotten that? All right, Jen, in pinpointing a certain person I want to be hooked up with a networking letter, how many letters should we send to one individual? One or more? No. Wait, I'm not. In pinpointing a certain person I want to be hooked up with a networking letter. I'm assuming you found somebody and you want to email them or send them a letter. Send them one, give them a week, send them another, and that's it. That's all I would do there. All right. Wait, last stuff. Okay, 12:30. All right. Want to just recap real quick. If you haven't been getting the emails, open your emails. You got all the gifts in there. Tomorrow morning, I'm 7 o'clock or so tomorrow morning. Carol, let's send it for 7. I'm going to send you an email with a recap of the week. That's the gifts, the playlist for all the stuff, the upcoming news, like on the goal setting stuff, my careers in coffee, live office hours next week's Wednesday. I'm going to give you got all the links for all the specials that expire tomorrow night. The boot camp, $100 goes up, but we got a session at 11 my time, 11 Central. You can join us. You want to get in between now and then. We've got the Interview Intervention course. That's $200 off, so it's $97 instead of $297. You can grab that. You get in the Leadership Monthly for half off if you enroll for the year. And by the way, I haven't really said this, but if you get in my leadership mentoring program, you not only get, and for those of you who are just, you love your jobs or whatever, the leadership mentoring program is my monthly live coaching. You get the workbooks, you get the participation, you get the recordings and all that. You also get my Career Accelerator program, which is $400. And you get the goal setting masterclass. You're going to get the recordings when that's done. That's a gift that will likely be rolled in. So for $397 and $197, so basically for $600 extra dollars, that's free. The annual pack is $297. That would be $24.50 a month. So if you commit for a year, you get all those things too. If you don't commit for a year, you don't get the goal setting, and there's some other things. It's a little different. But all that stuff's coming. There's a recap digest tomorrow, and then you'll get your Tuesday digest, and then on Wednesday we got live office hours, and I think Tuesday morning we're gonna try that careers and coffee thing, and I'll get you more information about that. But it'll be in the morning. The video will come out. And Marcus might want to come to that because it's going to be, how to answer when you have a lack of experience, how to answer the interview questions. So I hope that serves you, everybody. You guys are awesome. The recording will be up. We'll keep it up. There's a little playlist here if you want to catch these throughout the week. Share them, like them, tell me what you need. Let me know what's going on. I love to hear from you. Now, for everybody, I'll see you Tuesday. My boot campers, I'll see you tomorrow. If you got any questions about anything, support@malwalk.com. All right, you all, I love you. I mean, you guys are awesome. I'm glad we got to do this. I've loved every stinking minute of it, literally. I mean, 5.5 hours is just awesome stuff. So just thanks again. I really appreciate you. I'm going to keep giving and just really, really love supporting you. All right, you guys be great. Everybody have a great weekend. Boot campers, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.